You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hi there. I'm Steven Steelblur, and many of you will probably know me as the director of many famous box office smashing movies, like Oh, There's My Pumpkin, or the Sci-Fi Odyssey, Those Alien Dudes Took My Pumpkin. And, of course, the hit family movies Jeff, Jeff 2, More Jeffs, Jeff 3, Look Who's Talking, Oh It's Jeff, Jeff 4, Jeff does that thing again and everybody laughs, and Jeff 5, Hey Jeff, give me back my pumpkin. But what many of you probably don't know is I'm also the director of Radio Nonsense, the official comedy club for kids podcast that's suitable for all ages, from to and everything in between. And this here, just for you listeners, is a behind-the-scenes special, where I reveal the magic that happens to make each and every one of these shows appear right before your eyes, where you then have to put them before your ears, because of course, it's audio noise only. And that's a shame, as you won't be able to see any of the things I'm showing you, or my best friend Barry, who's a llama. Aren't you, Barry? But enough of Barry, because, well, he's useless, and all he does is hang around eating everyone else's lunch and then spitting in their eyes. Llamas, right? What can you do with them? Well, put them in hats. Now, follow me. Most people think it's just Tiernan who does all the podcast writing and editing himself, but that's to create part of the charm of the show. In reality, this here is the cupboard where we keep a team of hard-working chinchillas who furiously type up scripts for each and every episode. What are you funny guys writing today? Something about a comedy club for the Spanish city of Madrid? Ah, you are all too funny, ha! And then you see, right across the hallway, come with me, is Matilda the octopus, who's using all her arms. You're right, Matilda, I should know better by now. Not all her arms, one of them has to hold a cappuccino. All the rest of our arms, though, edit 8 shows at once across these 10 screens that you can't see. But you'd never have guessed, would you? Morning, everybody! Yeah, as you've guessed it, that there is our highly trained stunt team who play, amongst them, the farting animals and the stinky hippos. And they spend 22 hours a day in makeup, and then they sleep for 2 hours, and then they have to start all over again in makeup, meaning they never actually have time to do the roles they've been hired for. And so instead, over here, come with me, over here, yeah, morning everybody! These are the life-size farting animals and Stinky Hippo's puppets and puppeteering team who operate each and every one of these adorable but oh, so stinky you'll be sick, you'll just barf right down your shirt creatures. Ah, I love those guys. And over here, go away! That's Dennis, and you might remember his voice. He plays the Pod Goblin, and he is always in character, even when he's at home with his adorable family of faces drawn on balloons. And, now over here. Oh, yeah, I know you're going to be excited about this. Let me just open this here. Yeah, now, you might be able to tell by looking around, except you can't because it's all audio. We are inside the mailbag. Yes. This is the magical place where all your emails, reviews, messages sent by carrier pigeons are then unnecessarily printed off onto paper and thrown in here for Tiernan to search through each and every show. But to make it sound really full, like a real giant mailbag, you know, we've added some other things that you might not expect too. A little bit of movie magic, but for a podcast. So, like this. Or this. Ha It is all part of the magic. You would never have guessed those were in the mailbag. Oh, and up here, that's the question pile. Now, I think it's currently reaching about 50 to 60 feet high. We've got a tree frog named Anastasia who scales it most days just to make sure everything's in order. And I'll just pick one at random to show you the kind of things that we get sent in every single day. Now, what do we have here? Let me read this. This question, this looks exciting. Why is Steven Spielberg the best director in the universe? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so nice. Who sent that in? Go away. Oh, Dennis, I love you too, buddy. And, of course, if you'd like your question added to the pile, or your message, your intro, your jokes, or whatever you want thrown in with the pigs and the clanging things, then just make sure you get your adult human beings. Ah, man, I'm not as good at this as Tiernan is, you see. That's why I direct and he hosts. Your adult human beings, I mean grown-ups, to help you email in at podcast@comedyclubforkids.co.uk. And is it okay to promote other things too? I mean, I guess I can. I'm the director of this show, right? Without me, nothing happens. So, all of yous, go see the Jeff films, then buy them on Blu-ray, and then watch them on the Jeff Minus streaming channel too. Oh, and make sure you see the Comedy Club for Kids live shows, which you can find at comedyclubforkids.co.uk. I never go to them as it means traveling. I hate traveling. I like sitting very still. Wait, I'm having to travel for this. This is the worst. Anyway, you can also check out the Radio Nonsense t-shirts. I have one of every color, and I wear them all at once to get into the mindset ready to direct our next episode. I gotta focus like that. And of course, I got all my t-shirts at comedyclubforkids.store. And don't forget to check out the Bust or Trust podcast, too. I mean, I don't direct that, sadly. I tried, but they said, "Who are you?" And please stop waving that pumpkin around. So, you can't win everything. Oh, and this is so exciting. Oh my goodness, you won't believe this. Here, right here, in this jar, right? Can you see it? Of course you can. Okay, this right here, this is where we keep the most importantest bits.
You mean some of the film has to be cut out? Right.
I am very excited to be joined by Briony, Redman and Paul Foxcroft, a.k.a. Briony and Paul, who have heard of Montreal, a.k.a. Redman and Foxcroft's detective agency Most Ordinaire, and as our Samoan-speaking listeners know you, Fa'atiti Ona One Mia Ilua Oli Afapapili Lau Chips. But most famously, you are known for your successful expedition to conquer the world's smallest mountain. For that time, you saved the town from a terrifying plague of foghorns, and of course, for your much acclaimed studies into exactly what do yaks get up to on their days off. Paul and Briony, it's so nice to have you on the show. How are you?
Yeah, really good. I still can't hear in one ear because of the foghorns, but
Sure.
I was willing to do that.
I agree.
I see. It's obviously affected. It wasn't that long ago, and it's obviously affected both of your hearing.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. I hadn't realised this when asking you to do an audio podcast. Do I need to speak more loudly?
If you could sound a bit more like foghorn, we've kind of tuned into that kind of tonal note.
Right. So how like this? If I talk to you like this,
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
This might be hard to do for the duration, but we'll see how it goes if it helps.
Yep. If you can maintain that, and then maybe you can change your voice back in post.
Oh, that's a good idea. I don't know if they make filters that are like that defoghorn. Well, you've got the experience of this. Have you had to defoghorn lots of things since? Sorry, have you had to defoghorn lots of things?
Yeah, well, a whole town, and the trick to that was, but effectively kicking the plug out of the wall, but like a lot.
Right. And
yeah, their weakness is not having any power.
Or fog.
Yeah.
Or fog.
Because if you get rid of the fog, they don't have any reason to sound.
Yeah, it was a two-pronged approach. I took the plugs out of the wall.
I got rid of the fog.
Got rid of the fog.
Wow, very, very admirable. And what are they going to do now next time there is fog?
Well, call us because we were effective last time. So yeah.
And we've got loads of foghorns now.
You've got right. So can you clear fog as well as clearing foghorn? Is this? I didn't realize that was part of your expertise.
Oh, well, we learned it for this particular problem. So yeah, I mean, I'd say anyone can clear fog if you're willing to spend the time breathing out in fog's direction.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a volume game.
Right. So it is. That's what. Is that why foghorns work? Because they just sort of power up a lot of air towards the fog, blowing it away.
Yeah.
The fog. The trick with foghorns is they're effectively loud fans.
Wow.
So you can replace them with a fan or someone breathing regularly.
Yeah. Or 50% of a dog.
Right.
Or anything that exhales, really.
Oh, I see. So it could be either 50% of a dog, the back end or the front end, depending on which is exhaling at the time.
Yeah.
If you time it right and get that dog to rotate, you're away.
That's fascinating. Do you know what? I feel silly because I feel silly because when it's foggy, I don't think of breathing out.
Oh, well, I actually think, Tennant, you should probably think about breathing out 50% of the time. It's not just when it's foggy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's quite necessary half the time. And then the other half, think about breathing in.
I've been doing the breathing in. I didn't know it was meant to come back out.
It's all going to come out in farts if you don't breathe out. You're going right the way through the body for your breathing.
Yeah. If anything, you're encouraging fog.
Mm.
It explains a lot, and I can't believe I hadn't. I thought that was it. Just goes in one end, comes out the other. I didn't realize there was an in out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's in a real sense, farts are your choice.
I've chosen the fart fog, and I'm so sorry to everyone I've been near in the past 40 years. Well, you are experts at this. Is fog the only weather you've been clearing?
No, we've cleared rain.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was mainly a bucket/drinking approach.
Mm-hmm.
We've cleared snow.
We've got a series of we've snow's in a way easier than rain to catch because it's a bit slower. But harder to drink.
Yeah.
In great volumes. It's snow. The irony being, snow would be much nicer to drink on a hotter day. But it never happens like that. No.
Do you ever think of what are those drinks called? Like slushies, where they pour that weird blue liquid. No one knows what it really is. It's just blue, and they pour that weird blue liquid on the top. Like, do you ever think of doing that with the snow, and then you have it like an ice cone?
Yeah, sometimes I've taken like a squash bottle and pierced it, and then shake it into the snow, and then as you put your tongue out, it's already a slushy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's for the tricky bit. I can't do that very well. Briony's very good at hitting the snow as it falls. Whereas what I do is I take like a fruit juice, like pear, and then just pour that into my mouth. I'm sure there are other fruits available. I couldn't think of any other fruits for a second there, and pear juice I'm not sure is commercially available. But that's an example.
But it's a very fancy type of juice, and I like that you take your job seriously. You're not going to just throw out any old cheap juice.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be the finest pear.
Yeah, if it's just a standard I have. If you offer me a choice of juices, I will choose the rarest available juice.
Yes.
Or the most unavailable juice, like coins.
Right. Coin juice is very hard, and also one of the most expensive juices that you can
for a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons.
I mean, the raw material costs like £1 for a pound, and then the juicing process is an expense on top of that to get juice out of a coin.
Yes, it's a very hard process, and I mean, does it? I'm sad to say that I'm not a food connoisseur or juice connoisseur in the way that you are. I haven't tried coin juice. What does it What does it taste of?
It tastes expensive.
Yeah, increasingly so.
Right.
And it's sort of there's like a sort of coppery taste to it, and then the sort of there's a sort of coppery high notes, and then the sort of base. It tastes like a long weekend holiday somewhere you can't afford.
Yeah, and with an
Wow.
afternote of Excel spreadsheet.
Wow. Wow, that's very complex. That's very
Yeah.
complex flavors. That is that the most expensive juice then, coin juice? Because I know saffron juice is very expensive.
Yeah.
Gold
that's
juice,
true.
quite expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think probably the most expensive juice I can think of, which I've never tried, would be. I think it's very expensive to juice the moon.
Yeah, moon juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, you can see it happen slowly over a month because the moon goes from full to less full, and that's because someone's juicing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
No one knows who that is.
Wow. No one knows who it is, and does anyone know where the juice ends up? Like, are you able to buy it anywhere, or is it?
Well, I think it's a vegan alternative to milk.
Right.
One of them, not sure which, but one of them is actually moon juice.
Gosh, I've never seen that on sale. You must have to have very specific. You must know where moon traders are to kind of get hold of something like this. I'm just.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you think about it, because people think milk, moo, add a letter, moon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's revelatory.
Wow.
I never thought of the moon as a moo with milk in it, but now it looks so milky white when you look at it in the sky.
Wait, is that who's doing it? Is it cows that are doing it?
Yeah,
to persuade us that there is an alternative to actual milk. They're just bored of the whole milking process.
Yeah. That's why it also looks like a bite almost out of the moon, because they're using their teeth.
Wow, because is that why the cow jumped over the moon on its initial go, but now obviously landing on the moon and juicing it?
Yeah,
it was a long process.
Yeah,
you'd think the cows would have talked more about landing on the moon, like the Americans did.
Well, it's because it was an American cow that jumped over the moon, so that's the one we hear about more. The cow that landed on the moon was Welsh, so we don't get as much information about it.
And of course, the first cow to orbit the Earth was Soviet.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I wonder. It must be hard for cows to get appropriate space gear, because I know some of them have jerseys. You get jersey cows, but I've never heard of like a spacesuit cow.
Oh yeah, I think the main trouble with spacesuit cows is they like to have the spacesuit that matches the pattern. So we as humans often use those big white kind of spacesuits, and they prefer kind of Frisian colours, so black and white with patches.
Yeah. Yeah, which also means it's that they are in part camouflaged against space.
Right.
Because they've got huge bits in it. Like a lot of the spacesuits look like the night sky with white bits on it. You know, and that is what is the night sky, but black with white bits.
Wow. And
maybe that's why we haven't seen
doing it. Yeah, this is where I mean, I hope that by sort of uncovering that on this show that you're not going to get in any sort of trouble. I hope you haven't breached any secret conventions. I hope, you know, I don't want you to I don't want you to get any trouble for this. Is there, you know, are there laws in place that are stopping us talking about this? Have the cows kind of got overall control of the milk situation?
I'd say cows aren't as I don't have a cow NDA. They haven't made us sign anything saying that we can't talk about it. I think it's more that if you see a cow lying down, just as a tip, if you see one lying down, that's them about to jump into space. Because that's what they look like before. And they tend not to do it if you're looking. So you have to look away and then look back really quickly. So I think they are shy about it, but they're not contracting us not to say anything. You just have to spot it.
Yeah. If you see cows in the world, just normally day to day, just keep an eye, because we know they're going to the moon. What else are they doing?
Yeah. Well, also it comes back to, is it? I don't remember all the rules because I'm not a farmer, despite what people say. I'm not a farmer, and so I don't know. It's cows lying down is meant to be that it's going to rain, or cows, I don't know, standing on their heads means it's going to be fog. I don't remember that,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing actually they're just working out when's the best weather to launch into space.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
So I think that's the misunderstanding. It's a lot of people don't know this stuff. It's like with sheep. A lot of people realise there's only three.
What?
There's only
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, there's only three sheep, but they move around a lot. So you think there's
Yeah.
more.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're really fast.
Wow.
Um,
So, whoa, hang on a second here. So
Mm.
when people count sheep to go to sleep,
yeah.
Then
they should really only be going up to 3.
well, yeah, then you're
Yeah.
recounting
Well,
the
you can
same
go.
sheep.
Yeah, you can go higher. It's just recognize that the sheep 4 is one of the first 3 sheep in, like, but they'll be wearing a hat or have like a beard stuck on or a false moustache or maybe just making a face. Like, I don't know what level of effort they're putting into it as sheep. The other thing that people don't realize is because there are only 3 sheep, people think we get wool from sheep. And that's not true.
Oh.
What those sheep do is they can, there's a sort of not headstand, sort of like standing on each other's shoulders situation, trench coat. They go to charity shops, buy jumpers, cardigans, other outfits dirt cheap, unravel them, and then sell that wool as new.
Wow. I can't believe, I mean, I feel like farmyard animals have been tricking us this whole time, and I don't want to. I've got some big questions to ask you, but I just need to go there. Do chickens lay eggs, or is that something else entirely?
No,
no.
eggs lay chickens.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And also, not strictly relevant to this, but chickens invented dice.
Mm.
Right. Right. I can oddly sort of see that. Yeah, I think. Are those little peck marks in each of the sides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every dice is made with those peck marks by a chicken's beak.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. So chickens' main business is the board game industry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the eggs are laying them.
Yeah.
And the eggs' main business is laying chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're getting this truth out there. You know, a lot of our listeners will have been to farms and petting zoos and had no idea that those sheep there, I mean, just the same 3 running around.
Yeah.
You know, that the chickens aren't laying eggs. I mean, this is the sort of real information we need to get out. And, I thank you. I'm so pleased that you two could be here.
Well, a lot of people are confused by that. The sheep thing, for example, if you've ever seen a field of sheep in a number higher than 3, if you get a picture of it, if you're very lucky, you might catch some of those sheep blurring.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because it's just they're moving at what, to use the vernacular of comic books, they are moving at super speed, like Superman, or more accurately, the Flash, or Quicksilver from the Marvel Universe, or Jesse Quick, a lesser-known DC Comics character.
Or Billy the Whiz as well from the Beano.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yes. From your classic Beano Speedster.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a noise. But there's so it's my Billy the Whiz alarm there going off anytime that's mentioned.
So a sheep has whizzed past your house.
Yes.
During this conversation, that's good to know.
Yeah.
It's a useful thing to have, which I guess you two need in your profession. In fog clearing, a sheep would be very handy in clearing fog. I'd have thought the speed they can go.
Oh yeah, if you've ever, if the weather near you has been bad and changed incredibly quickly, I bet all the money in my pockets, which is £1, which I'll be juicing later.
Oh, good.
And but I bet you £1 a sheep has travelled through the area recently at speed.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're really good at sneaking up on fog because they look kind of cloud-like, so they can actually blend into a lot of weather.
Yeah.
Those 3 sheep.
Can I just check? Have those 3 got a name? Are they named? Do we know the names of the only 3 sheep that exist?
We don't know it for certain because it's very hard to pin them down to a conversation. Sure. But our research has indicated we suspect their names. Hang on a second. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, I've got the file here.
I'm really intrigued.
Okay, we believe their leader to be called Benny Conkers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's purely
right.
because the word Benny Conkers has appeared carved into fences near where a lot of sheep have been hanging out. And
Sure.
sometimes there's like a little crown next to it.
Right, that makes sense.
And we
Yeah.
believe one of the others just to go by Eric.
Mm-hmm.
That is just Eric's quite chilled, actually. The slowest moving of the three.
Wow, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. And then the third is sort of unknown, or
No, well, do you want to take a stab at it?
the third?
See what you reckon? Yeah, we've given you all the clues.
Is it Susan Trousers?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
deep down we all know it. We all know
Yeah,
it.
we do. Yeah. It's weird. It was like on the tip of my tongue. I just sort of felt like that seemed right, and yeah. Wow. Well, listen, you two, I can't believe how educational this episode's already been, and we barely got to the reason that I have you two here. There is a question that's been sent in, and I think that you two are the people to answer it. But before we get there, I do have some admin questions, and I hope that's okay for you.
That's fine.
Excellent. Well, the first one of these is that this is an audio podcast. I'm not sure if you're aware, but most of our listeners do listen to it with their ears, sometimes with their knees or their bum. Oh, Paul, were you not aware?
No, why am I wearing this costume?
I thought that was just your everyday dress.
No, I misunderstood. I thought we. No, okay.
Oh, listeners, I'm so sorry that you're going to miss out on this. I just assumed, Paul, that was just what you wore out and about when clearing fog, monitoring sheep.
Nope, I really misunderstood the brief. I'm so sorry. I'm just dressed as the British Isles.
It is lovely, though. It's very impressive, and you've also got all the different little. You've got the Isle of Man in there as well, haven't you? Just on your left shoulder, and the Scilly Isles up by your ear. And it's very.
You can't see them in this zoom style shot, but I've got the Channel Islands as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Isle of Wight.
Wow.
I've really islands up.
I see. I knew it wasn't on camera. That's why I haven't got any facial features, because I thought I don't need them today. So I just didn't put my eyes in.
That's very sensible. Very sensible. Actually.
It is like talking to an egg.
I'm just going to lay a chicken.
Laying a chicken. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, but that's that's the thing that people don't understand, that when on social media sites don't really do this anymore. But there was a point where if you didn't have a profile picture, it would show an egg, and it was actually just anyone that didn't think they were on camera at the time.
Yeah, that's what we all look like when we first get up. We should just admit it.
Yeah. Totally fair. Well, listen. Well done, Briony. I'm so sorry, Paul, that you've made the effort. I just assumed that you dressed as the British Isles on a day-to-day basis, and I think, to be honest, I think you should, and I think that's a statement that you should make and not be afraid to make.
Thank you. Well, it's a fog trick. It's a weather trick, really, is why we have it. It's because if we dress up like this, then the weather thinks they're on the weather report on the news.
So then they get really small and just go across his body.
Yeah, much easier to get into a net or a biscuit tin.
Yeah.
The two ways we store weather.
And I just wave my arms in front of him, and then they move.
Yeah.
This is. I mean,
the only other way we could do that would be if one of us became big enough to stand next to Britain.
Oh yes.
But then that comes with its own consequences of being a giant lying down on a country.
Yeah.
You'd squish stuff.
You've also got problems of, like, how do you buy shoes that fit or a hat that fits?
Yeah,
and that's a lot of effort.
Well, yeah, I mean, shoe-wise, you'd have to wear North Africa.
Yeah,
or Greece.
Very tricky.
What's the best shoe? Italy shaped a bit like a boot. Would that work?
Yes.
So that's one foot dealt with, and then the other foot, maybe Florida.
Yeah,
possibly. It's going to be hard to walk in Florida. Yeah,
very warm. One foot's going to be both feet are going to be very warm.
Yeah, Australia would make a better hat. I don't know. If any of the listeners at home have maps, then maybe if they could check out what countries make the best shoes.
Well, please, and do send that in, listeners. If you possibly they already know. Maybe they've tried this before. Who is to say? Well, listen, this is an audio podcast. Because of that, I just wondered if either of you had a favourite noise that you could tell us about, or preferably even make for us?
No, I think my favourite noise is Dr. Stephen Greer's upstaging trolley, squeaky trolley. Which is,
I'm a big fan of Greer's upstaging trolley.
yeah. And that one goes squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Which is good for if you are ever in a situation where you need to make a sound effect and you, like me, struggle with them, you say the word as if it's the sound effect. So door creaking open would be creak. And
Nice.
Dr. Stephen Greer's trolley is squeaky, squeaky, squeaky.
That is absolutely brilliant. That is fantastic.
I do. I have used Steve Greer's upstaging trolley on stage a number of times professionally to draw attention away from the people doing the actual work and put it on me.
Yeah. And you can use it at home. Say someone like a sibling is in trouble. You can change the nature of the room by making the squeaky trolley noise somewhere else in that room. Everyone loves it.
Wow.
Yeah. Or if you time it well, you can freak people out by making the squeaky trolley noise in a different room at night.
Whoa. So people,
very
they'll be
versatile.
in one room, you're in another room where it's dark, you make the squeaky noise, they think they've got the ghost of a trolley
Yeah.
somewhere in the house.
Or either the ghost of a trolley or the ghost of somebody with a trolley who doesn't have a lot to say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And what kind of creature would push a trolley without anything to say about it? That's horrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. Well, maybe just not. So I think it could be horrifying. You're right, but it could just be a really content spectre or wraith. It might be it could be a minotaur who has prepared a delicious lemon drizzle cake, but is nervous about people trying it.
Yeah, you can usually spot if it's a minotaur because they'll leave a little path of string towards the cake they want you to try.
Right.
And then you can find your way back out. They're very scared of directions, minotaurs.
Yeah, do check that it is string. Because if it's wool, you might be walking into a trap orchestrated by the only three sheep.
Susan Trousers.
Benny Conkers.
And Eric.
I mean, but with this power of being able to make that squeaky trolley noise, the fact that you or the listeners can make this sound and suddenly the people they're with assume that they're falling into a trap made by sheep, that's a powerful noise, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. A lot of potential consequences to the squeaky trolley.
Yeah, well, thank you. We've not had Stephen Greer's upstaging squeaky trolley noise on this show before. Thank you very much, and I do hope it is used regularly by those listening in. The other admin question I have for you both is that this is a family-friendly show. It's suitable for people of all ages, any age you can imagine. Can you imagine an age, Briony?
208.
Yeah, absolutely suitable for that age. Paul, can you imagine an age?
I went with the Victorian age.
Yes, absolutely suitable for Victorian age as well. Suitable for all ages, not 100. Long story, won't go into it now, but every other age possible it's suitable for. And as a result, I just wonder if you can tell us if there are any rude words you won't be saying during this show.
Well, I won't be saying pomplamoose because I mean I wouldn't ever say that.
Yeah.
Like you have to be in a pretty bad situation to want to say that. But if I was, that is usually my go-to word that I just wouldn't say. It's inappropriately sour. I'd say it's a sour word.
Yeah.
Please don't.
I'm going to resist the urge to say the word wabnasm. I think we can all understand why. I don't even like saying it in that context. I really reserve that for the dire situations to express a sense of frustration. I would like to briefly share, I've left a gap there, so this will be easy to edit out if it's not appropriate.
Okay.
A little bit of a confession to a rude word thing that I did many, many years ago was Briony and I met in Scotland, in the city of Edinburgh, at a place called the Bedlam Theatre. And I once, using silly string, sprayed the word bum on the wall in 6-foot-high letters. And
unbelievable.
That was done 15 years ago, and in the right light, you can still see it on the wall.
It's like
because
the
it
ghost
turns
of
out
a bum.
just the word "bum" in massive letters on the side of a building. We took the ceiling string off like quite quickly, but it turned out it had already bleached the stone, and
This
so
is
for a
amazing.
long time it said "bum" on the side of the theatre.
Like echoes of bum of a
Yeah.
echoes of long lost bum.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. Well, that's
yeah. It's
that's
it's
beautiful.
the
It's funny. Unlike sort of Wavnasm, which no one should ever say, or Pamplemousse, indeed, which is a truly offensive word. I think that there's something beautifully artistic about the long forgotten sort of echoes of a bum, and I think
yeah,
that's art. Art is welcomed on this show.
Mm.
Absolutely, Wavnasm
yeah,
and Pamplemousse certainly not welcomed, and I appreciate you not
yeah.
saying them. I definitely
Yeah.
wouldn't say such an awful
Yeah,
thing.
but I think a confession in that I probably shouldn't have been spraying words on the side of a building, but having done so, I think you are right. It is, in a way, it's been nice to go back and see my bum on a wall for over a decade now. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's not, and it's very nice that a lot of other people have seen my bum.
it's true that a lot of people who walk past the building will instinctively try and sit on the side of it. If you walk past that building,
Yeah,
It does sound like it's an instruction, isn't it?
Mm.
Like bum
yeah,
goes here. It's like a resting place specifically for bum,
yeah.
yeah,
and sometimes that's necessary.
And if
People need
you're
those
ever
instructions.
not sure where to sit, I mean that's the instruction you look for.
yeah. Oh, if you ever listeners at home, if you're ever not sure where to sit, look around, see if anyone's written the word bum,
Mm-hmm.
and if they haven't, maybe think about writing the word bum and
Yeah.
then sitting where you've written it.
I think that's great advice. Absolutely great
Yeah.
advice, especially in
I-
silly string on a big wall, and I think that is the way. That is the way forward.
Are you mystified by mysteries?
Or can you crack the craziest cases?
We're looking for chief detectives to join us on our investigations into some of the strangest stories from around the world.
We'll analyse aliens, look for the Loch Ness Monster, and hunt out curses. We'll present you with the best evidence and the most interesting facts.
And then it'll be up to you to decide and tell us what you think.
Will you be a mythbuster like me?
Or a myth truster like me.
If you want to be our chief detective, join us on Bust or Trust, a kids' mystery podcast. Every week on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and all other places you listen to podcasts.
Well, listen. Thank you both for those, and thank you for doing the admin questions. Now, what we've been sent in is this question, which is from Rhys, who says, "My name is Rhys. I am 8 stinky hippos old. Here is my question."
Already, I have a follow-up question already.
Sure. Yes.
About are stinky hippos a measure of time? Now, is that how we're doing this?
They are Radio Nonsense listeners very much know that they are, in that you can be 8 stinky, but it's very hard to know if 8 stinky hippos old relates to being 8 human years old, or I mean I still don't entirely know what it means.
So Rhys could easily be in his mid 40s.
Rhys could be mid-40s, 300 years old. He could be just 2 months old.
Yeah.
It's very hard to know.
But suggests that a stinky hippo is 3 months.
Right.
Quick maths.
Yeah.
It's very hard to say, because stinky hippos age at different rates depending on how stinky they are, where you're keeping them. I keep mine in the fridge. It normally extends their lifespan.
And keeps them fresh and crisp.
Keeps them fresh and crisp. So it's very hard to say, and I appreciate that Rhys didn't want to share all the different, sort of age measurements. It can get a bit tiresome. You 8 stinky hippos. That means you're 54 slightly sort of disgruntled worms. Like it takes a long time. So for all we know now is he's 8 stinky hippos old, and he says, "Here is my question: why can't hedgehogs share the hedge? Goodbye." That's it.
I'm glad that he's contacted us as his last ever act, Rhys.
Yes.
Where has he gone?
We just don't know.
The implication is he doesn't really want the answer to this question, because he's immediately and
straight
quite
away.
flamboyantly left. Is
That's
Rhys's
true.
job? Does Rhys just go from room to room around the country, kicking the door in, announcing his hippo rating, and then asking important questions, and then vanishing into the night as if he were fog itself?
Wow, I like that idea though, because I think it'd be great, wouldn't it, if you maybe you're sitting around, you're not doing anything useful with your time. Rhys bursts in, he asks something important,
Yeah.
and disappears, and then your brain is just filled with this new, far more important question that needs answering.
Yeah.
Like, who was that? Oh, it's
Yeah,
Rhys.
or-
He did actually
what-
say his name. It's Rhys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's up with moths? Goodbye.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, I don't know where he's gone, and I don't know that's true. I don't know if he'll hear this answer. But I do feel now he's posed the question. If we don't answer it, other people hearing this question will be stuck.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Well, I think
100%.
stuck is also a good reason why hedgehogs can't share a hedge. Is because if you, I don't know whether this is still a toy, but remember stickle bricks?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
A stickle brick's still a
I
thing.
don't know if they
'cause I
are.
would
It's
find
like
that-
Lego, but more spiky.
They
Yeah.
are still, they are still a thing. Yes.
Unrelated. I was literally this week talking to a friend of ours. I mentioned stickle bricks, and they looked at me with the same facial expression that you get if you show a dog a card trick. Like they had no comprehension. I think they thought I was making this up.
Stickle
I
bricks
can't
are
tell
definitely
you-
a thing. Yeah.
So
Like
hedgehogs,
hairy Lego.
yeah, hedgehogs
Yeah.
are hairy Lego. So you put them near each
Yeah.
other, and you can't then separate them particularly easily.
Mm.
And
Wow.
So that's why they naturally don't hug.
I see.
I think a lot of people think
Why doesn't I was going to say, sorry to interrupt you there, Briony. I was wondering, why don't we use hedgehogs for construction then? Because Lego's great for building things. I've never seen anyone put together sort of say between 30 and 50 hedgehogs to make a
bigger hedgehog.
a bigger hedgehog or a fire engine or
Yeah.
a sort of superhero scene or whatever it is.
well, you can. I think the thing is, you can make a whole house, and I have seen a whole house made of hedgehogs stickled together. But then,
house hog.
if you leave the house, that might move.
Yeah, it's one of the main advantages of Lego over a hedgehog is that when you've made whatever it is you're making, like a bigger hedgehog, a fire engine, or a superhero scene, the three things you can make with Lego,
Yes.
it doesn't walk off. Like you can go
Right.
have the juice of your choice, and then come back, and what you've made will still be there, unless of course Rhys has run in and asked it a question.
Sure. Yeah, that is true. I've never had to feed Lego like some worms or what was it? It's like a Weetabix, I think, or mushy bread. You have to. I've never had to feed Lego that, which is good.
And
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that people don't know about hedgehogs is each individual spike can be unsheathed, and it's a little sword. So it's like they're carrying a lot of swords on their back. So the other problem is if you do stick them together for a long time, eventually they get cross and then they sword fight.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that's a lot of swords to fight.
Yeah, because you knock one out of its little paw and it's got another, 200 odd.
Is that why some people kind of subdue hedgehogs by putting little bits of cheese and pineapple on each of their swords so that they can't fight? Is that like,
Yeah.
like in fencing, they use those swords with a little ping pong ball on the end so it's safe? Is that what hedgehogs use? A little bit of cheese or pineapple?
Yeah.
And you put it on.
Yeah, it's a process called they call them buffers, and it's a process
Buffers.
if you boff the end of a hedgehog sword, then it becomes no longer a weapon, and now it is just a means of delivering cheese.
It's just how we forgot. Like, this is how people used to fight back in olden times. If you think about the old knights in like medieval times, if you had some
And the
cheese,
other days.
and yeah, if you had some cheese, you could stop them right in their tracks by
Yeah.
putting cheese on the end of their sword.
Yeah, I don't know if the listeners would be familiar with a medieval weapon known as the Morning Star.
Right.
Which is often today you'll see it drawn as it's a long handle with a spiked ball on the end, and it was used to hit people on the head till they stopped. But I'll give you three guesses as to what the drawings now aren't as accurate. Give you three guesses as to how they made those.
So I'm guessing a hedgehog, like a hedgehog on one stilt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 hedgehog
Yeah.
on one
Yeah.
stilt. So not only was it dangerous to the people they were attacking, but to the circus people that had to wander around on their one remaining stilt after the
Oh,
other stilt had been
so
taken.
Yeah.
devastatingly damaging. That's awful. You're hurting two people at once there, a clown and the person you're hitting with your hedgehog on a stilt. That is,
Yeah. And also probably the hedgehog,
and probably the hedgehog. Yeah,
depending on
That's
how
true.
hard you're hitting them with.
That's true.
with
They're
it.
already balancing. That's got to be quite tricky.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in a way, if you look back at the history of hedgehogs, they've done a lot. And I think it's reasonable now that they tend to just sort of have a nap,
Sure.
have a little snuffle about, and then chill out.
Sure. In their own hedge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, because if you get too many, if they get too close together, boom, they're Lego.
Mm.
Wow.
And I'm sure the listeners have encountered this. I know I have. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it's really hard to get 2 or 3 Lego bricks to come apart.
Yeah.
And you need one of those little orange lever things they now put in the kits, which I find incredibly useful. But
Very
you don't
useful.
always have a little orange lever thing.
No.
And imagine if that was you. Imagine if you went to school and you were near some of your friends and you got stuck together by, I don't know what the human equivalent of hedgehog spikes is.
Well, they've done it as
your
experiments.
hair?
Hair, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
basically, hair, if left damp, and then just left naturally, can become quite Velcro-like. People forget about that. Because often my mum says, don't go out with damp hair. And what she actually means is don't let your head become part Velcro.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
Fun
sense.
fact, Velcro was actually invented by the moon cows as part of their first sort of early space exploration.
How they landed on the moon, because jumping over, easy. How do you stick to it?
Yeah.
Velcro.
Sure.
Velcro. Yeah. The base bit, the foot bit of their suits has the hook bit of Velcro. And then they just fired loads of wool loops at the moon
And
so they can stick to stuff.
Coming loose. You're never going to float off into space if you've got Velcro on your
No.
feet. Yeah.
Well, because it was
powerful
wool,
stuff.
it was a cow sheep collaboration.
Mhm.
Right.
A part of an organisation I call Big Pharma.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have to say the knowledge that you two have, I knew, I introduced you with your exploits about, the foghorn clearing and a number of other things, but I didn't know the extent of knowledge you have about animals. And I'm hoping that this conversation that we're having is maybe the beginning of a nature show, perhaps for you both, or something bigger. I don't know why you're not running zoological societies. There's a level of knowledge here that I'm not seeing in everyday animal information.
Yeah, we're disappointed really that we're not more in charge of nature in general.
Yeah.
I do think we're ready for that next step up.
Yeah, I was really hoping that we could get a job at the New Forest, just making sure everything's in the right place, because it's the most technologically advanced of the forests.
Yeah,
with it being
yeah.
so new.
And also because of the way the trees move around there. Because like sheep, there's only 3 and they move a lot. People think that trees are still, but no, they're constantly swapping just to mess with you.
Yeah, I mean, the clue, you can tell, I don't know if you've ever been near a tree and like something's fallen out of it.
Yes, I have, yes.
Yeah, that's just the logical consequence of it moving.
Gosh, I had no idea. And I can't, wow, it's thinking of all the work those 3 trees put in, obviously all the work the 3 sheep put in, 3 sheeps, 3 sheep-eye.
Sheep-eye.
Sheeps.
Sheep-eye,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. Well, listen, you two have absolutely blown my mind today, and thank you again for coming on.
You're very welcome.
I'm sorry I dropped the foghorn voice. I hope it's been all right.
I
you did it over time, so it's adjusted.
I haven't heard anything you've said, but I've guessed on my answers. I hope they were close.
Yeah.
Yes, well, that's good. It's good. It must be hard because I as you have no facial features at the moment, Briony, I was worried about. I have not been able to lip read anything you've said, but luckily I've been able to hear you.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I'm not even facing you.
No. Oh, right. Oh, okay. Right. That explains a lot. Right. Sure. Fair enough. Well. Listen. I really appreciate it, and I hope Rhys. Well, I was going to say I hope Rhys is happy with his answer. I don't know. He's gone, so we don't know what's happened to him.
He's out of here.
Yeah, he's
Off.
long gone. And if you two got
just
a
off
busy,
kicking down doors and asking new questions of strangers across the land.
someone's got to do it, and that is Rhys. And thank goodness for that. I say, have you two got a busy rest of your week, year, life?
Yeah, we've got. We've got to keep an eye on those yaks. I know you said at the beginning.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that they are taking over, and someone needs to warn people. So I'm going to spend most of my weekend tracking down the yaks that I presume are hidden in my house.
Yak track.
I've got the rest of my day. I'm going to be going around the town writing bum on seats so people know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
And then I've got a lot of foxes coming around tonight to help me fix a car.
Brilliant. Well, listen, you keep up the important work. Thank you again for having time to chat. It's been a delight having you.
Thanks,
Yes.
Julian.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And here are all the wires.
Wowzers, huh? Well, that was the amazing Briony, Redman, and Paul Foxcroft there answering Rhys's very good question and giving us so much exciting additional information about sheep and about foghorns, you know? I mean, how do we get such amazing guests like that? I know it's what you want to ask. Well, let me tell you straight off, it's our researchers, Wendy and Isambard, who, well, they don't actually work in this place with us because they once brought in some real stinky eggs for lunch, and we said, basically, they have to do everything from a skip outside for our safety from now on. Rhys, I do hope you liked your answer, and if not, well, there's nothing you can do, as actually our complaints department is now just the word complaints written on an old banana. The magic of showbiz. If you have something you'd like to send in to us, though, whether it's like a question or a joke or just whatever you got in your mad heads, then do ask your, okay, I'm going to try, older people. Oh, wait, dang it. I really tried. Do ask your grown-ups to help you email in at podcast@comedyclubforkids.co.uk, which when you email in, it gets received straight to Emmanuel. Hey! Who'll then give it to Stanley. Hey there! Who then shows it to Rita. Hola! Who then puts it in a small envelope and posts it back to our friend Franklin in Hawaii, who then sends it back to us to put into the mailbag with the pigs and the clanging. I mean, it's a big process. There's always more work that goes into these things than you expect, just to make it the kind of final product that you get to hear in your ears. Oh, and I gotta say, do go to comedyclubforkids.co.uk and see one of those live shows. I hear they're great. I don't know. I don't go outside. Do buy a t-shirt from comedyclubforkids.store, or like I did. All of them, wear them all at once to be real focused, real warm, too warm, but that's okay. Better than being cold and not focused. And as my friend Nistafer Crowland says, go listen to the Bust or Trust podcast and also all of the Jeff movies. I'm not sure why he says that, but he shouts it at people in the store all the time. Nistafer Crowland, he's a funny one. Excuse me, I'm here to play the part of Linda. I've trained professionally, and I believe it's going to be the role of my lifetime. Not now, honey. I'm afraid Linda isn't in this week's episode, so scoot, get out of my way. I'm doing an important behind-the-scenes thing here. But you say that every time. Wah! Now, look, I guess you're thinking, but dear Spevin, where's the host? You know, you're showing us this behind-the-scenes thing, but where's that guy that's always there? Where's that Tiernan guy? Well, here is a big secret and an exclusive to this behind-the-scenes peep. Tiernan actually stands for Talks in Ears of Radio Nonsense Audiences, no blah 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 blah. Yeah, we didn't really know what word to put in the end there, because kind of the rest of the name just sort of, it said enough, so we just made a word up for the end there, the new blah 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 blah. But what I mean to say is, Tiernan is the next level. Like, next level. No, wait, what's it called when it's, like, out of date, not very good? Tiernan is an old clockwork machine that we gave some cookies to, and now, when we wind it up, he just gets going. It's amazing. It's exactly what this show needs. Plus, we only need to pay him in cookies, and the occasional reassuring word, like, fine, and he's happy. Let me show you. You won't be able to see, but just listen in.
Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense. I'm Tin and... Oh, hello, Steven. Fine. Oh, that's great to hear, thanks. Oh, are those cookies? Yeah, you know, sunburnt knees flavour, just as you like it. Now go record, champ. Hooray! And that's it. You see, a lot of hard work goes into these shows, like I keep saying, and hopefully it sounds like it too. And me? What do I do? Well, that is a good question. I mean, I direct, so go left, and then straight ahead. Now right. You're welcome. And I hope to see you again, but I won't because it's all audio noise. So I will be here for the next Radio Nonsense episode brought to you by this amazing team and, of course, Dennis. Go away! And cut. End scene.
You have been listening to
Comedy Club for Kids presents.
Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. It's the